There was something in here that's like a really good idea, but at the same time, it's not. I feel like enough video games at this point have done like a free-to-play model, like live service video games, for behavior to take some inspiration from it and do it a little bit better than they've done with this current update. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to say this like at the very start. It's a very good thing that they're doing. They're trying, right? One of the main topics for me for like, since I came back last month, since I rose from the dead, has been like Dead by Daylight being pay to win. There's too much content. You have to pay too much money to like have not, well, yeah, an advantage, I guess you could say an advantage in Dead by Daylight. And in this dev update, they're actually doing something about it, right? The free character trials. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about that. It's not a good idea. They're trying, but they're like way off in left field, dude. They are so far off in left field with what they're doing here that it's not funny. For one, let's take, I mentioned it in the actual developer update video. A very good example of a free-to-play game was Killer Instinct, the 2014-13 Killer Instinct. It was pretty good. The way they did it, it had different fighters, different characters on like a revolving door. I think they were free for like a week, and you could play them in every game mode. If I remember correctly, you could play them in every single game mode. You weren't limited to an event. That's kind of like my first big problem with this. That's like the first thing that they've done completely wrong. Why are you limiting it to an event? That's so weird. Just make them free to play. Just make the characters that you pick free to play in every game mode. There's 2 fucking game modes, dude. There's normal and event. Why not just make them free to play for a week? For 2 weeks? I'd say more than likely a week. Pick like 3 killers, have them free to play for a week. Pick 3 survivors, have them free to play for a week. And then switch them out, right? Next week, 3 different ones. Next week, 3 different ones. And also, don't be so goddamn money hungry, bro. Don't restrict access to the blood web. Let people level up those killers. With as many killers are in the game, there's what, like 34 at this point? Something like that. 32, 33, somewhere around in there. It's in the 30s, I believe. You know, you're going to be able to have those killers, even if you did 2 at a time, have them on that revolving door. Don't restrict access to the blood web and let people play them in every game mode. Let them really get a feel for the character. 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10. 8 times out of 10, if someone who doesn't own that character and plays it in that manner, and they enjoy that character, they're going to buy the character. 8 times out of 10. The only thing that you're losing out on is the 2 out of 10 people who can't afford it, dude. Who can't afford it. And what's the harm in letting those people... I mean, the Behavior claims to be a very inclusive company. You know, and I'm not throwing shade when I say that. It's just very inclusive, and inclusivity comes to poor people too, bro. You gotta give that shit to poor people too. Even if you're doing it in a way to where you're only giving them 2 killers at a time, 2 survivors at a time, let them just level up the character, bro. So the next time, if they can't afford to buy this shit, if they can't afford to pay $12 per chapter every 3 months because they got bills, groceries, kids, you know, significant others, whatever, you know, it's a rough economy right now. I know, you know, let them level up these characters and play them the same way that everybody else does on this revolving door. Let them level them up. I don't see the problem there. You know, Killer Instinct didn't have limited movesets. You know, you didn't have to pay $10 fucking to have a special move to do somebody's ultra combo in Killer Instinct. Why are you having to pay money to get the most basic feature for a killer or a survivor? Why are you having to pay money for the most basic feature to use the blood web? Yeah, I know you want people to buy the characters. I get that. You're a business. But at the same time, there are people who can't afford to do so. And I don't think for those very few people, being able to level up the killer or survivor, I don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe it's a warped. Maybe I have a bad take. Maybe this is a bad take. I don't think it's a bad take, dude. If you're going to do free-to-play, do it right. There have been so many games that do it in the way that I'm speaking of, i.e. Killer Instinct. I just don't see a problem with it. I feel like they are so close here, but you can also see the greediness, right? You can see the greediness. You can see the greediness in this shit. Dude, just make it fully free-to-play. Just have those couple of characters, couple of killers, couple of survivors. Let people play them in every game mode. Take off the restriction to the blood web. It goes on sale a whole bunch. People are gonna buy it regardless, but for like the 2% of people that can't, bro, just let them have fun with the killers that you deem they can play that week. It's not a bad thing, and plus you get a lot of brownie points. How much money are you really losing doing that? I don't know. That's just my opinion on like these free character trials. They're so close, dude. They're so close to doing something so damn good. It just needs a few tweaks. It just needs a few tweaks. That's it. KI did have a great free-to-play system. So KI had one of the best free-to-play systems, bro. Killer Instinct really legitimately had one of the best. You weren't limited. Whatever characters they said were free were free. You weren't limited. You could just play those characters. You could play them in practice mode. You could play them in arcade mode. You could play them online. It was just a great system. DBD is this damn close, dude. This damn close to having such a good idea. Such a damn good idea. But like I said, you can just see that little bit of greediness still like edging its way in. And I hope some other dudes in the content creation space for Dead by Daylight are saying the same thing. I really hope some other people speak out about it, because I know I'm a smaller creator. You know, I'm gonna get maybe 1,000 views on this video when it goes out. Hopefully 1,000 views, so like my word doesn't mean much, but I really hope some other bigger dudes in the content creation community for DBD say the same thing, because I don't think it's a terrible idea. I don't think this is going to cost Behavior millions and millions of dollars. It's literally the 2% of people who can't afford to buy these chapters every time they come out. That's who it's helping. Really, what's mainly going to help them is taking this greediness away and getting that other 98% of people who can afford it but don't want to because they don't think they'll like the character. If you give them the access to the Blood Web, to try all of the add-ons, to try all of the perks, you know, whatever. If you give them that access and also don't limit it to a fucking event to where like nobody's going to be playing if the event's not fun, let them play it in the normal game mode and actually get some gameplay, it's only going to help them by convincing those people, that 98% who, in this specific equation, that 98% who can afford it but don't think they're going to like the killer, it's only going to convince them to buy it if they end up liking it even a little bit, right? I don't think it's a bad idea. Like, holy, take out that little bit of greediness and we're good to go. DBD, man, you've just seen them get like more and more greedy as time goes on. One step forward, two steps backwards, because like, even in something like this where it's like, it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing that they're doing here. But even in this, you can see that smallest glimmer of greed, and it's like, damn, guys, for real? You're so close. Like, why are you restricting the Blood Web? What's the point? How is someone going to fully try out a character like that? I know if I don't have access to like some of the add-ons that make a killer fun to play, like if I don't have the opportunity to use Vecna without his iridescent, I play Vecna to get blood points to get that iridescent because that's how I enjoy playing Vecna. I just deal with playing Vecna outside of having that add-on, right? So if I don't get access to the add-ons that might make that killer fun, still not gonna fucking buy it. If I can't find a fucking match because it's an event queue, dude. If I can't find a match to play the killer, I'm not gonna buy it because I didn't get to play it. I get to look at it on the main menu screen. That's how it was in 2v8 for me. Trying to play killer in 2v8, I never got to play 2v8 because I would sit there in queue for 15 to 20 minutes and just say, fuck it, dude. I'm going to play something else. Where's Third Strike? You know, like, I'm going to do that. I don't know. Man, I hope they come around. I hope they come around to it because it's so